to thank everybody for coming and for the unbelievable support that you've shown over the last year. It's been difficult, but you guys have helped get us all through it. And we don't have anything prepared to say, but we thought maybe we could read some of the cards that people have read. Wanna start with this one? Wait.
The fact that it never bothers you, no matter what time of the morning or night I called, I knew no matter what or when, I was always welcome in your home. Rest in peace, love, Nancy Jo.
My favorite is playing baseball with all our friends at Mather Park. Eddie Jacobson. This is from Liana. Her favorite memory was singing with him, especially when we did the group of us. We were silly.
When me and Mom used to visit you at your apartment in Chicago and you and your dad would be watching the ball game, but you would always come out and give us a big hug. I love you and will miss you forever. Love, April.
This is from Sandy. It says, Ron was my go-to person for names and info on TV and movie characters.
Hello. My name is George Ofman, and where's Bob Stern? Bob, where are you? You should recite, come up, you should recite Start the Revolution Without Me. So Ron and Bob saw this movie 30 times, right? Donald Sutherland and Gene Wilder. So I'd go to the movie, and these guys would sit in the back of the movie and literally recite every word that was going on when David mentioned it. It was so funny. You know what's most appropriate right now? We need to bring out some food here and start a food fight. Because that was part of our growth process. There are a few people that are here that were part of that. Steve Fontias is here, and you threw a tomato or two, believe me. We went to a place called Lockwood Castle, which was located on Devon and Central. So there would be, 8 or 10 of us. One car had the group that didn't smoke pot, and the other car had a nice aroma. It was just great. So we all went there, and we all knew exactly why we're going there. We wanted to sit in the back room for one purpose, because there was going to be a food fight. And who instigated it? Mostly Ronnie. So here's what he did. So he'd have a straw, and he had a target. Mike Ginsburg is not here. I wish he was here. And so, we're all sitting there, and he would very carefully load the straw for a spitball. He'd aim it right at Mike's forehead and hit him right down the middle, and then he'd raise his hand going, wasn't me. Well, that started the process of, French fry would fly around the table, and eventually the tomato started to, that's when they threw us out, is when the tomato started to hit people. And that happened there, and it happened at Superdog as well. Part of that was our growth process. I met Ronnie when I was 15. We were sophomores in high school. And we immediately became fast friends because we had so many common interests, and one of them was Don Rickles. This is why there was a lot of cutting up. And it wasn't just Ronnie and I. It was Andy Bloom, who made the trip in from Lake Tahoe, and Dave Aloshin, who drove in from Memphis. Last night, we spent the evening, we were missing one of our gin partners, because we would play gin rummy, team gin. It was usually Ronnie and I, and Andy and Dave. And we played for money, but it wasn't like playing poker. But the whole object of it is we simply laughed and laughed and laughed and taunted one another. There's a common denominator, and I have a feeling that common denominator works through all of you that know Ronnie. And that was laughter. He had a tremendous sense of humor. It galvanized a lot of people. And the fact that he had such a wonderful demeanor. Never saw Ronnie get mad. And I was with him for so many years. I'm very lucky because in life, all of us should have that one friend, a one enduring friend with so many common interests. Fortunately, I have more than one of them. But in Ronnie's case, it was so unique. In the common interests went from poker to eventually the racetrack. We would go there with his father, take us to the racetrack, to playing sports, to playing baseball. All of these things contributed to a long-lasting relationship that also included when we were in high school. Ronnie had a penchant with the girls. And so there would be nights where I'd be sleeping. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and Ronnie is throwing rocks at my window to try to get me up. And I'd open the window. I'm sleeping. He said, come on out. I want to tell you about my date. So we'd go to the house at Pancakes. We were drinking, have a cup of coffee, and he talked about the date. And this was Ronnie. He, for me, was and will always be a lifelong friend. He's gone, but he's not gone. Because there are traits that I have today, some good, some not so good. They're funny, though.
Yes.
That are from Ronnie. And every time I think of Ronnie, I laugh. I laugh because the memories are so wonderful. You know, the memories of a great family with Pauline and Jesse and Brian, who really is a spitting image. You know, tall, thin. And through all of this, you know, through this process that really began a little over a year ago, when I recognized there was an issue taking place, and I hadn't talked to Ronnie in several months, I got to understand what love really was. And that love came from Jesse, who had to grow up in a different way in a hurry to take care of an ailing father. And it was a process that you did an enormously wonderful job. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you did, and Pauline, you as well, and being so much involved in this. But I just have enduring memories of laughing with Ronnie. And that's such a wonderful trait, if you think about it. When you think about somebody, and you think about all the fun times you had, that's a great thing to think about. And it's wonderful to see a lot of the high school guys who haven't seen each other in a number of years are here. We all went to Mathur High School, the class of 1871. Well, excuse me, 1971.
Feels like 18.
And Dave and Ed Jacobson and Jeff Beta, and we used to play fast pitch all the time, and it was just great. And Jeff, thank you so much for putting all of this together. I sincerely appreciate it. I'm sure all of us do. I speak on behalf of everybody in what you've done today. But one final thought, and that is that I've learned something today. I learned something from Ronnie, and that is friendship is so extraordinarily valuable. And sometimes we lose touch with people. Sometimes we have issues with people. But when you start thinking about the value of friendship, it's really important to try your best to keep that friendship going. And that's something through this process that I am learning and trying to reestablish relationships, because I had such a wonderful one with Ronnie. And that's why I'm so glad that Andy came in from the West and Dave came in from Memphis. And so we were together last night and reminiscing about Ronnie. And I know there's some other people that probably haven't even arrived yet today. But that's something that's very valuable. Take that to heart. And this is a day of celebration. It's not sadness. It's a day to celebrate the life of a guy who really affected all of us, and I would like to think affected us positively. Thank you.